into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Woo-hoo. Good evening, AfterBuzzers. We are here at the AfterBuzz TV studios discussing everything American Horror Story Season 4. You like that?
Yeah.
I am your host for the evening, David Schifilliti, joined by my beautiful and glam co-host and ladies, Sara Huggins, Jillian Leff,
Hi.
Oriana Leo.
Hello.
We're discussing tonight episode 7, titled Test of Strain.
I can't believe we're on 7 already.
I know, right? Wow. So many things have happened.
Oh my gosh, this was such a meaty episode.
So meaty. But before we get started,
Yes.
I do want to give a quick shout out to the Glam Squad who was here tonight and glammed up our ladies. So if you're wondering why they look so
I woke up this way,
Sexy.
David.
sexy and
for those of you
beautified,
listening,
for those of you listening, please tell us a little bit more.
well, you can actually find them on Twitter and Instagram at Glam Squad NYC, and basically, it is an on-demand makeup and hair service. So you basically order it on your phone. A makeup artist and a hairstylist comes to your house, gets you all glammed up for your night out, and you're good to go. And
So convenient.
I mean, who wouldn't want it for a
amazing,
special
yeah.
night or photo shoot
Such a
or
cute
whatever you
idea.
have planned on your life?
and we're spoiled tonight.
Yeah.
This is not a
This is
usual
not the usual
occasion
thing.
here at AfterBuzz, so we feel extra pretty.
Well,
David's always pretty. The prettiest one of us.
Oh, and all three of us ladies, I'm sure David will too, but
I'm sure I
we're
will.
going to post a $20 coupon deal on our Twitter accounts and our Instagrams after the show. So you guys can download the app and get a $20 credit.
In
so look
glam
out for
cash.
that. In glam cash. So if you're in Los Angeles or New York, make sure to look out for them and get them to beat
Glam
your
you up.
face and tease your hair for your holiday parties.
Oh, hey.
Right?
Get it?
Okay, let's get started. Such a meaty episode, like we
Yeah.
said before. A little upsetting at points.
I'm
Oh my
crushed.
Yeah.
And so is Mon Petit.
Oh no!
Big reveal right off. Are we
Oh,
starting with that?
No, but that's okay. It's fine.
This
We've
whole
all seen the
episode.
episode, right? So
Yeah,
it's fine.
I know.
It was
That wasn't the part I cried. I knew when he picked her up that she was a goner.
I really was not expecting that.
I wasn't ready for
okay?
it.
I mean, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't expecting it, but when he went in there, you knew because he had already attempted like 2 others, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was, and you know what? I was not expecting it.
Are we going to talk about this now?
We might
do
as
it.
well.
Let's open it
Okay,
up.
We might
All
as well
right.
open up with Dell. Dell tonight gets caught at the gay bar by Stanley, unbeknownst to him. And Stanley...
Not just caught, but caught, like, bludgeoning the bartender.
Well, he
Right.
got upset. Good for him for
Did he say
mean,
never
if-
trust a hustler or never date a hustler?
never fall in love with a
Never
hustler.
fall in love
Which
with a
everybody knows you don't fall in love with your hustler or your prostitute. They're just doing a job. It's one of
Sounds
the
like
tricks
a
of the
woman,
trade.
a man that has experienced that.
Hey.
Whatever.
you don't know
Anyway.
life.
Anyway, but I was wanting like a Matt Bomber flashback.
I was
but
saying, like, poor Matt Bomber,
Oh.
when is he going to come into play? Because, honestly, they dumped him in one episode, and that was it.
Hey,
I
we
was
don't know that
sending-
wasn't the only time he had available in his schedule.
That's true. He could have done. He
could be
could have
busy.
flashbacks and
You know,
his like
he
past
is
with Dell.
out there shooting Magic Mike 2. Right?
That's wrapped.
Yes, please.
That
Can
is
we just say
wrapped,
that?
honey.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Maybe he was busy.
Well, whatever.
Maybe he was busy during the time. I know, but I'm a little disappointed. I hope that we find out, because we don't find out where Dandy dumped the body, do we?
Not yet.
I mean, there was barely a. I mean, he could have done it several places, right?
Because did he chop him up?
Yeah,
Eventually?
yeah.
And acided.
Oh, no, he acided it.
Acided.
He did. He acided it.
He acided it.
Okay, so obviously, I mean, I hope that we get to see him in flashbacks because, as we know, Dell's
least
violent
once.
rampage.
You know what? I'm gonna say
We'll rage
that
on.
I'm good with not seeing Matt Bomber again.
Really?
Only because
God.
Sarah's so upset.
I mean, he is like perfection. I was sending David like photos of him all week, like
Watch
gifts.
White Collar.
He's my gay boy crush.
like
he's
I've
married
never
and he's got 3
seen-
kids.
I know, but every girl has one.
God.
He's mine.
I have never seen a man that is like that perfect physically. Like,
I think he's hot, but I mean, he's chopped up. Like his story's over.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And like, the only
right,
reason
fine.
I'm okay with him not being there is because I want to see Del move forward from this and move on from this and see what happens with his storyline,
Yeah.
which I feel like is more important to the viewers and
Right.
to our storyline within American Horror Story.
and I feel like they did that a little bit tonight.
A little bit. Yes,
Yeah.
they did do that tonight. We saw him fighting for, I guess, his own honor and the honor of his love with the bartender, smashing the guy's face against the bar, which was awesome. So good for you, Dale. But Stanley catches him,
Right.
of course, and proposes to him this. And I want to see what you guys think and what you would have done in this situation. So Stanley goes to Del and proposes to him that he's going to basically out him if he doesn't get him what he wants, which is a freak dead by the end of the next
day,
day.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That within 24 hours, he wants something. Now, posed with the same question, someone's going to out you unless you do whatever they say. You're their slave. What would you do?
I would. Well, my personality is that I would just out myself. Like I would. Would never want to be under the thumb of someone else. I would rather eat it.
Under any situation.
Under
Not-
any situation.
Not
okay,
gay,
let's just
straight,
say
like any situation.
my
They
secret
got
was that
something
like
on you.
I murdered somebody.
Okay,
like
cool.
let's say, and so if I out myself, I'm going to go to prison. Like
Right.
something. That's the only thing I could really think of that would be so bad. Because
Okay.
I say face your humiliation head on. It loses its power. But in that situation, I don't. I think I would end up being stuck. I would probably do it if I'd already murdered
I
someone.
just
and
like.
that
I
was a
mean, he's
murderer.
already like with a. Is he married to
Desiree?
Yeah,
Yes.
Desiree.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's already like with like a tranny pretty much anyways.
You
Or,
Well,
can't
no,
say
she's
that,
not.
Bert.
She's
Not a tranny, she's
100%
100%
woman.
woman.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, she's got some stuff going on. So like he's not 100% innocent. I don't know. I just feel like
You have to think about it though in the time, Sarah. It's
That's true. That's
1952.
true. That's
I
true.
mean,
That's true.
being gay is not
that's true.
a normal thing.
That's true.
Well, and also
And people were arrested for being gay.
yes, and also think about this. He's got the power in the freak circle because he doesn't show his freakiness. Do you know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
his freak is on the inside. He's strong,
Kind of.
but like he doesn't.
Yeah.
When he walks into town, people aren't throwing things at him. He doesn't want to let go of that power. I don't think.
I also think that the story would have changed a bit if Jimmy hadn't asked to talk to him.
Yeah.
And that whole dialogue was opened up because
so?
if I were Del, I probably would have ran because he's been causing a lot of problems with them. And if he knows that he can't do this, I would assume that this is not the first time he's running from something because, you know, where he and Desiree were before this, we don't exactly know, and I could be wrong on that.
Well, I feel like the reason
yeah,
that they
we did.
left,
Yeah, we saw it happen.
The trouble that they've caused in where they were previously.
they ran to Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like he's used to running. So before the Jimmy dialogue happens, I think that Del would have ran, and that's what I would have done because I don't think murdering someone would do any good. And you know, the easiest thing to do is just disappear, and Del knows that because he's done it before.
I know, but he doesn't choose it, which is so interesting.
Because
Well,
like
he
who's to
doesn't-
say like they didn't like I mean not that it would have mattered, they didn't sign anything, they didn't shake hands, they didn't do anything, so like he could kill one person, I mean, which is what I think is going to happen. Like he kills one and it's like, all right, well, you know what, that really wasn't enough for me actually.
I changed my answer. I would
okay.
kill Stanley.
That would alleviate a
I mean,
lot
I
of
know
issues.
that he
That
has.
would
I know
alleviate
that
a
he
lot of
has a
issues.
gun.
End of story.
In the scene, he has a gun,
And he threatens to shoot him.
but it seems
Nut
like
shot, not shoot. Whatever.
he could, easily, Strongman Del could easily sneak into wherever Stanley's sleeping and crush him. You know what I mean? And get rid of the person that's going to be blackmailing him.
I mean, I wonder why he doesn't choose that route instead.
I think it's for the writers. It's more of an
It's
interesting
more interesting
story.
for the writers, and I mean,
Yeah.
I guess if you look at it through the spectrum of the world, there is something in Stanley that he recognizes because he did see him at the gay bar. So I
Yes.
guess
Right.
there's sort of that, you know, familiarity with that person. We both have the same secret on each other.
And like Stanley's someone that has power over him, and almost no one has power over him.
Right.
So he feels threatened. He doesn't take him on.
Well, now Jimmy, I think, has a certain power over him.
To a certain extent. I mean, we see Del go in to try and
Whack him.
whack Amazon Eve first.
That was
that's right.
amazing. by
which was
the
an
way.
incredible scene, and Amazon Eve literally beats the shit out of Del,
her
which I
own.
was not expecting.
Me neither.
Oh my
neither.
God, that was amazing.
Such an incredible scene. And she throws him out of her trailer and is like, "Who's the strong man now?" Which was such a great scene. And for a woman who owns so many shoes, I'm surprised we always see her wearing the same outfit.
That's funny.
It's very true.
Right?
Very true.
Come
Only
on.
you would come up with that observation, by the way.
She had a wall of shoes. You didn't think that?
I mean, I saw them, but I didn't think that.
Well, maybe shoes are just her thing, not
yeah,
clothes.
maybe she just like
Maybe.
holds them. I don't know.
Maybe. She's got big feet.
So he's desperate. Del's desperate.
He is desperate.
You know, he was going to use chloroform, which I think
Chloroform against to knock Eve out.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
and then
but
kill her.
why were you guys were all like, at least you and Jill were like, you guys knew it was going to be Amazon Eve. Why?
From the,
The
preview
preview.
from last week.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, he thought that he saw her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I recognized her red blouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought.
That she always wears.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait, why? I was
No,
like, am I
no,
missing
David was
something?
on
Okay.
it.
All right. All right.
Because I'm really
Mr.
smart,
Detail.
Sarah.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
I'm just kidding. But that was a great scene. And then
Yeah.
Eve is sort of with the ladies in Ethel's.
And Jimmy.
And Jimmy does show up, and Jimmy pleads his case and says, "Let me be the one to talk to him before you exact your revenge."
Ethel was pissed.
Yeah.
Ethel was really
Like
mad.
Ethel was
But you know
essentially like,
what?
I'm going to kill him. She's ready to do it.
And you know why I think she did that? Because earlier when her and
Desiree.
Desiree go to the doctor's office and see that
Oh, right.
he's closed for business, and then they find out that he's shot himself in the face and he's dead because, I mean, I guess that could technically still be
can't
a
work.
lie.
No, but that's what I thought when they said, when she was like, he died, I was like, suicide for sure. Because he no longer can work. Like his entire.
His life is over.
Yeah, his
life
although
is
I was
over.
questioning how you operate a gun with all your fingers broken. But if you're desperate, I'm
Yes,
sure
there are ways.
there are ways.
Where there's
Yeah.
a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So we find out, I guess, the doctor is dead. I'm still a little sketchy on that part, but he's not there. And I have a feeling that Ethel has connected the dots. That Del has done this to the doctor, and
Right.
she's sort of lost hope at this point because this was the only person who was ever willing to help her.
She does say, I know the damage that Del can do.
Yeah.
And she doesn't elaborate. And I was kind of thinking, well, I mean, we know what he did to her, but what else isn't she saying?
Right.
Exactly.
I have to be honest, when she had that little monologue to the camera and to Jimmy when she was talking about, how Del needs, justice needs to be served. And it was the first time that her accent didn't bother me.
It wasn't as thick tonight.
Right.
Interesting
Right.
observation.
Because I have been just like, I mean, I get it. Like, I get what she's trying to do. But I
Good morning.
I know, and I think John Travolta in Hairspray, and I'm sorry, like Kathy Bates, you're great, but I know that she's received a ton of flack for her accent. This particular scene when she was getting extremely emotional was the first time that it really didn't bother me, and I was able to actually enjoy her performance.
Interesting.
Her accent was not as thick
No,
tonight. I
I
did
was
notice
going to
that.
say, yeah.
And I'm curious. I'd like to know what you guys are thinking too. So tweet us right now. We'll be checking our phones. Did you like her accent this episode? Did it sound a little bit different to
It's
you?
funny. I didn't really notice. I felt like there were a few moments where it sounded the same to me, but I think you're right in the sense that I stopped hearing it.
Like maybe we're just like numb to it now.
I don't know.
Maybe, but I
Could have
feel like
softened
it's
a little
one
bit.
of those accents,
feel like,
like
yeah.
that Maryland accent, which is when it's thick, it's thick. It's like a
Yeah.
Boston accent. When it's thick, it's thick.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those things that you can like tune out. And I think she toned it down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
Right.
which is like neither here nor there, but
Yeah.
whatever. It just shows to her talent.
Anyway, she basically just says to Jimmy, "You do it, or I will."
Yes.
So they want to kill Del.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Do you blame him?
I don't.
I mean,
Think about the women that are in that room. Ethel, Desiree, Amazon Eve.
They all hate him.
They all hate him because they've all wronged him. He's
Yes.
wronged every single one of them. So I don't blame them for anything.
Yeah.
For wanting him gone. And you know what? They can't go to the police, which is what Ethel says. We got to take care of our own. Which is, something that we see throughout history. People within groups like this, not necessarily, I don't know, how do I say this properly? Without offending anybody, because I
that's
hate
not
Oh, David likes to offend.
I love
away.
offending everybody.
Let's not make any generalizations.
I don't want to make a generalization, exactly. But within segregated groups, people tend to exclude the formal police
Oh, yes.
and take care of their own problems.
yes.
Um,
God, what were you thinking was going to be offensive about that?
there are going to be a lot of
There could
offensive
be.
things.
We're
in
not
that
gonna get
statement.
into
We
that.
won't get into it now.
All right,
but it's definitely there. And I don't blame them. But Jimmy goes to Dell and they go to a bar and they get drunk and they have fun. And Sarah called it out and she was like, "Oh, a little dad and son action."
Yeah, it was.
It was. It
Father's
was
son.
very
But
cute.
it was funny because it's like you could tell that Jimmy didn't go there with that intention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He starts
No.
off being like, well, you're no friend of mine. I don't like you. I'm not going to miss you when you're gone, and they're going to kill you. Like, he doesn't seem like he has really any intentions of becoming friendly. Even though we find out that he
knew the whole time.
knows.
He does know the whole time. The interesting thing to me about that whole scenario is that Jimmy, even when we saw him in his musical number, singing a Nirvana song, what is it titled?
Come As You Are.
Come As
Is
You
that the
Are.
actual title?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Even when we see him in that exchange with Elsa, he's trying to stand his ground and be sort of the man
Yep.
of the show. And this is what he's sort of doing with Dell, where he's staking his claim.
Right.
I guess until he confronts Dell about being his father.
Which, what a moment when that finally happened. I mean, thank you, writers, for finally giving Evan Peter a purpose in this television show. It's been pretty boring.
It has.
I don't think he's had the best dialogue.
This was a major moment.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because the whole time I'm thinking, so Dell seems to be really impacted by what Jimmy's saying, talking about the gloves and his disability and, those few months in the wintertime and how he really just felt like he belonged. And you can see how much that's really impacting Dell. But I'm also thinking, you're getting your son drunk so that you can kill him.
Right.
Like, I felt so conflicted, and I think it speaks to how conflicted Dell is as a character,
Totally.
And as a person.
because I really felt in the moment that he was having all of those feelings legitimately. He was really feeling for his son, but he was also thinking, I need to save my hide, and I'm going to do what I have to do.
Well, and then there was the whole, out of all the places, he takes him to that bar, and it was never Jimmy. It was funny because he mentioned girls a couple of times, and they panned out
There's no
to
girls.
show that there was no girls
guys.
there, but it was
All men.
never talked about. He was just not even noticing. I like
Jimmy
that.
did look around. He did give a glance around once.
Yeah.
Do you think he noticed something? Do you think that
Well,
was
I
his subtle
thought-
way of knowing something?
I thought that when Jimmy said, "I know who you are," that's what he was going to do.
Interesting. See, I didn't think that at all. I thought daddy right away.
Yeah, me too.
Just so you know, Carl has tweeted us and
Yes, what'd he
said
say?
that he thinks that the Kathy Bates accent is real, and her
Real,
voice,
like
her
that's
voice
her
became
voice?
the role. It wasn't harsh; it was real.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got the same from Austin Dowdy. Said the same thing. They really liked the accent.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Thanks for tweeting
It's
us,
just
you guys.
Jigglypuff over here, hating on the
I
accent.
actually-
I'm just saying, go home and watch Hairspray, and then
love
get
that
back
movie.
to me.
I will sing you the
home and watch
score
it.
right now.
So what I couldn't believe though is that in the alley when poor Jimmy's puking his brains out and Dell still has the brick,
Oh, I know.
and that was
And
like,
he's holding it the whole time.
and he didn't let go until the
then he
very
dropped it
end.
when they
Yeah,
had-
but it just made me are you serious?
Well, he's one of those people that is on the fence about everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's on the fence about
Yeah.
whether or not he likes women or he likes men, or if he's going to allow himself to be out, or if he's going to stay in the closet, or if he's going to run away, or he's going to
Kill
stay with the
people or
freak
not.
show. He's going to kill somebody. He's not going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
He's on the fence about everything. And I finally feel like we're starting to see, because of his love for Andy and because of his newfound love for his son and acceptance for his son, we're going to start to see more of a humanity from him.
So I feel like he hates himself and therefore he hates everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, he's so angry. And it's like, if he could only accept himself, he could have a wonderful life.
Well, that's sort of the struggle of a lot of gay people, whatever the time may be, is accepting yourself and who you are and who you are going to be in the world.
And not
staking your
internalizing
claim.
all of those negative messages.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
The struggle is real, literally.
The struggle is real. It gets butter, as RuPaul and Michelle Visage say. It gets butter.
Someone's been listening to RuPaul's podcast.
Can't stop. Won't stop. Excuse me.
Oh man.
But Del does decide to kill someone in possibly the most upsetting scene in American Horror Story history.
By the
So
way,
sad.
the easiest target. Like, it was just like, you couldn't have taken out someone your own size.
Well, he tried to take Amazon.
True.
Yeah, why he went for her first, I'll never
I have no idea.
understand.
She's
No,
6'7".
that's why when you guys thought you had it figured out, I was like, what? Like,
Yeah. She's 6'7". The woman is a
and
really
she
tall lady.
kicked his butt.
She kicked his ass, but then
Yeah.
he goes for Mom Petite and gives her a new dress first.
A perfect dress. We had the closed captioning on, guys.
Will
and so
you
it
zip
actually
me?
says
Bones crushing.
yeah, crushing.
Oh.
It was, oh my God.
was
Okay,
It was
so
sickening.
I'd say Jillian and Oriana probably didn't see all of it though. They
I
were
didn't
like
watch
shielding
it.
their eyes, and
Yeah,
David and I were
no.
like glued. Like, I was like watching and say like bones crunching. Bones
This was
crunching.
the first moment in this season that I covered my eyes.
yeah.
And I think that not only the bones crunching and knowing that Mon Petit was in his arms, but the fact that Evan Peters' character told a story
Yes.
about her and how much he
loves
loves her.
her.
And I was like, you're the worst dad ever.
Well, I feel
At
like
least he
that's
didn't
what
kill him.
that's what made it more impactful. I
Yes.
think was the story that
Oh,
that
God.
Jimmy
We had
told
just
us
heard,
about
yeah.
the rabbit fur and
Yeah.
and how she looked like she had gone out and hunted a lion, but it
this-
was a rabbit head.
That story was the imagery I got from it. Like, I could really picture.
I could too.
When
It
you
was
were saying,
beautiful.
the African guys that have the like the lion pelt, I could really picture it, and it made me. It really was so heartwarming, and humanizing. And then, like you said, to snatch that life, that teeny tiny precious life. Oh my gosh,
It's horrifying.
horrifying.
Well, and when she was like, "Will you zip me?" I was like, "Oh." I just knew, I knew she was a goner. She was the third person.
Third person that he went
Yeah,
to
I
go.
knew she was.
And
gonna
it
go.
just, it was very upsetting. I got a little tear, but it's hard to cry when you got contacts in.
So we have 2 down. Meep down, Mon Petit down.
The 2 smallest people in the Freak Show were the first 2 to die.
You guys wanted what's his name to die? The
Paul.
Is it Paul?
Paul the Seal.
I thought
Okay,
Paul was the dad.
No, Paul the Seal, right?
Yeah.
It's the Seal
Okay.
guy. The reason why I say I wish he would have gone for Paul is he's already on his deathbed. So why not?
Clearly, he's not because he's made it through
I
a
guess
couple
not.
episodes.
But he's already dying. So why not just go ahead and off him?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be easier?
you would think.
Yeah, but
I wish that they would have offed him only because of poor Penny and what her father did to her
Penny
this
Gummer.
episode.
Yeah, but
Well-
if he'd been dead and she came back like that,
Oh my God.
How horrifying for her. So Penny Gummer, as I like to call her,
Call her Penny Streep. That would be like a better stage name.
but I mean, I guess that would be a better stage name, but her last name's Gummer.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we got a lot to get through.
yeah.
I know we do.
Okay.
Lord. She goes to her father tonight and she tells him that she is running away with Paul and she is going to live her life at the Freak Show. Mm-hmm. And what does he say to her?
He has a little surprise to her before she a parting gift, if you will.
And he essentially
Yes,
said,
that's
like,
right.
you don't think a father knows what a daughter's doing. You don't think I already know what you're going to do. I know I can't stop you.
And he says that he's going to do anything he can to save his name.
But that seems like a weird choice. Like, how does
That's
that...
a sick and twisted and demented
Right?
choice.
I mean, let's be honest. The last episode, we saw him holding a shotgun to her,
Oh, right. He's crazy.
her face. I mean, come on, like this guy is a
Certifiable.
freak in his own right.
Right.
You know, his daughter just happens to be in love with someone that looks a little different. He's the freak.
He goes so far as to seek out this completely other, like this tattooed man that's a tattoo artist, which I can imagine that would have been hard to do.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
You wouldn't just, my friend.
Yeah, there's no local tattoo
Especially
parlors.
in that, like, time,
Right?
yeah.
That's like a prison. You get your tattoos in prison.
Or on the sea,
Yes.
overseas.
Yes.
It's true.
I know.
And she gets tattooed with what I assumed was a snake face, which is why he also had her tongue forked.
Yeah, it
It
looked a
looked
little
kind of aboriginal, but it did look like
scaly.
scales.
Yeah.
But, like, why?
Demented.
I know, but that doesn't... I don't know. It's not gonna... Paul is still gonna love her, I feel like.
He will, yes, but it's
Yeah.
going to deter her from ever being able to
She's
come
never
home.
going to show her face again.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's never
Yeah, but
going to
that,
be
like,
able to
punishes
lead.
the dad, really. It doesn't really punish
I think
her.
she's
I mean, it
punished.
punishes her. It punishes her, but... Like, he wanted her to be home and he didn't want her to be at the freak show. Well, now she's never going to want to come home because she
But
is
she
essentially
can
a freak.
also never lead a normal life like she could have before.
Yeah. Because of this choice that she made.
He's going to punish her forever.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to
He is
make
not,
sure.
He is not punished at all. No. He doesn't want anything to do with her because of the choice that she made, and that's why he did this to her. So she can never function as a normal person in society ever again.
So incredibly cruel and unusual.
Yeah. And then she was asleep and she woke up. I don't know.
Also
There was, like,
extremely
blood on
disturbing.
the-
Yes.
Side table.
And the fact that he wanted to see her, get the mirror out so I can see her face, her reaction when she sees it. Like, so sick and disturbing. The kind of mind it would take to come up with that.
Very twisted.
Yeah.
Very twisted.
Dandy and him should meet up. Hey. Can we talk about Dandy?
Yes, speaking of Dandy,
David is madly in love with Dandy, if anyone
I am
doesn't
not
know.
the only one. So is Jiggly.
I love
Really?
him. Yes.
Are you like, I mean, like, David is literally lusting after him.
No,
like, he's
that's
thinking
Matt
about
Balmer.
him late
I
at night.
told you that if you listened.
Yes. I'm not
No.
lusting after him. I just think
That's a lie.
I am.
You
Every
just
time
really
he's
like,
on screen, he's like, oh my God.
listen,
Do you see what he's wearing? The monochromatic, blah, 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 blah.
I'm obsessed with him. I can't
Yeah.
help it. I'm not the only person throughout history who has become obsessed with a serial killer based on the way that they look. Look at Charles Manson.
fictional
To
serial
this
killer.
day, Charles Manson just got
And she's
engaged.
pretty hot. Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
So,
So
29-year-old or something.
26.
26.
26.
26.
It happens.
God.
Yeah. Anyway, Dandy really wasn't prominently featured in this episode, and I think I was
No.
okay with it. I
cool with
appreciated
that.
the
Yeah.
Dandy breathing room.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm totally cool with it, especially with the way that they ended his scene with the dramatic
Just, like,
shot from far away
tears.
into
Yes.
his face with the one tear.
And since he was wearing all red, his red face with the red.
Yes.
So
he is Satan.
Yeah.
Like he is.
It's great.
well, I think the last episode focused so much on him that
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
good.
Well, the last couple.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's how we sort of started out the episode. We're at Dandy's house, and Bet and Dot are there dressed like what
Alice
I
in
think is Alice in
Wonderland.
Wonderland.
Yeah.
I think so.
They're wearing the
Maybe
blue
it's-
dress with the white apron, and they've got
The headbands.
headbands.
Yeah.
So cute. Which I don't know why they changed back into that horrible frock. They should have kept the blue one.
Don't we go till 9:30? Doesn't our show go till 9:30?
We have a show at 9.
Okay, we'll hurry
Okay.
up as fast as we can. We'll get
Sorry,
through it.
guys.
No, it's okay. We'll do as much as we can.
Sorry, fans.
Love ya. Bet and Dot.
They make the choice. Bet makes the choice to stick with her sister, right?
Yes, because
That
she's
was
given the
cute.
choice by Dandy.
It was a frozen moment.
I would not
She
call it a
chose her
frozen
sister.
moment.
She chose her sister.
She has an ulterior motive, which we find out later. She wants to go blonde, which she does. She looks great.
Amazing, actually. I didn't expect that.
She wants to be a comedian.
Yeah.
She's gonna tell jokes between the songs, and she wants 20% of the box office.
Well, that's just because that's what her sister told her to say.
right, because Dot wants 50,
Yeah.
which is great. Which we find out later. why she wants 50. I mean, we know why she wants 50, but Elsa writes her a note and asks her, why do you want 50%? And she tells her, I want the surgery from Dr. Sugar. Is that his name?
The guy who splits the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know that I wrote it down, but
yeah, you did. I just saw it. Geez,
Dr.
4
Oscar
pages of notes.
Sugar, she wants Elsa to track him down, to split them.
Yeah.
And Elsa goes to Stanley and says, these bitches are becoming a huge thorn in my side. And I want you to go find this Dr. Sugar and we can ship him off to Chicago. And
he offers essentially to kill them.
Thank
to do
you.
a mercy
Yeah,
killing.
yeah.
Yes, which Ethel hears.
I know.
So
Juicy.
some stewing going to happen, I think, in future episodes.
Yeah.
Which is very, very interesting to me. And I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
Jimmy and Esmeralda tonight.
Oh yeah,
We saw them nakies almost.
I don't feel like we got a lot of explanation.
We didn't.
About how that happened.
We didn't get any explanation.
Well, I
we
mean,
just
they
saw
kissed.
them. But they have no clothes on. We don't know how far
they
they've
kissed
gone.
last week.
Right.
Yeah. We don't know how far they've gone. Because they even, their conversation was like, oh, you seem quiet tonight. Kind of like, have you been doing this every night?
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
how long
no.
has this been going on?
I felt like I was maybe missing out on something. But I'm glad that
I don't know that we necessarily need to know how it happened. I'm just happy that it happened.
agreed.
Right?
Truth.
Yes.
Yeah, but now that, Jimmy has a connection to Dell and he has his dad there, I don't know if his loyalties to Esmeralda are going to stick. Esmeralda wants him to split, and he's
Yeah.
like, wait, I've
need a
never had a
couple
dad
days.
before.
That's true.
I need to think this over.
That's interesting.
That didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah,
because
that
he
was
tells
like-
her that I need a couple days before I can leave.
I mean, listen, you tell the girl what she wants to hear,
I would never be that cruel.
But I'm just saying, like, that was the first thing that crossed my mind, because now, the most impactful thing that Jimmy had said was, good night, Dad. Like, he never thought he would ever get to say that.
Very touching.
That was
Yeah.
And it was
really
a sweet
touching.
moment, but I immediately thought of Esmeralda, like, well, girl, your plan is done.
Yeah.
She's done. And
But
then Stanley,
with Ma Petite, though, being squished, that's going to get Jimmy off the hook, though, for the lobster claws. The reason she wants to run away is that he doesn't get killed because she thinks Stanley wants to kill him.
But like Sarah said, this might not be the first.
yeah, off the hook
It
for
won't.
This
now.
is the first, but it might not
He's
be the
greedy.
last.
He's greedy.
Yeah.
Definitely greedy guy.
That is pretty much our episode for the most part. We are running a little over on time tonight, so we are going to cut it a little bit short. But before we end tonight, there are a few more things that we do want to talk about. So is there anything else in the episode that anyone feels like needs to be discussed before we jump into news and gossip?
No, I think that we should continue the conversation on YouTube and iTunes.
Yes.
And we'll be
Agreed.
checking all week.
I
so
love it. Let's
make sure you
continue
guys
the
post there.
conversation on YouTube. Post your comments and your thoughts and theories, anything that you'd like to discuss that we didn't get to discuss tonight. But let's jump into news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Does anybody have anything?
I tweeted out an article earlier this evening from the AV Club that was kind of like an op-ed piece.
how everyone's the same, like how all the characters
Talking
are.
about how American Horror Story should stop if it's not
Right.
going to continue, if it's going to continue to recycle the same storyline and characters, which I thought was really interesting. I thought it had a lot of valuable points to it.
I agree.
But at the same time, like actually, I think Carl Myers mentioned, every series follows a formula. Like that's just how it is. Television is formulaic.
Fat guy, skinny wife.
So yeah, so to fault the show for being formulaic is kind of not an original argument, but it is interesting to say that it's an anthology, and in an anthology you expect to have really different seasons, and that we are getting the same actors that are playing very similar characters from season to season.
Because how cool would it be if like Jessica Lange was the two-headed woman?
Or was Pepper. Like she's always going to
Yeah.
be the lead and the strong female.
I mean, but she could be the lead, but she could have been, the two-headed woman, but she's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's always like a queen bee.
power
like-
hungry and vain. Every
Right.
character is exactly the same
Yeah.
as what this article was saying. So fans, check it out. I tweeted it earlier
Yeah.
this evening. Read it and see what you think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anything else, ladies?
No.
Okay, so I do want to give a couple quick fan shout-outs. We had a question about who Finn Wittrick played at the Normal Heart, and someone let us know.
Who?
Jordan K95, I think it was on YouTube, let us know that Finn played the model that Bruce fell in love with, the one that got sick on the airplane.
Oh, yeah.
And then died in the hospital right before he got to see his mother.
Oh my God.
And the character's name was Albert. So thank you, Jordan.
Thank
K95
you.
on YouTube. You are the best.
Oh my God.
I want to do a quick shout out,
yes.
fan shout out for someone who did a review for us on iTunes. It's a little bit hard for me to see here, but the last numbers are 31811. Thanks, darling. Love the way you guys break down the episode. I want to share an Easter egg I think I spotted in the opening credits. Literally, toward the end of the credits, when the two babies swap heads, you can see the head of a gray alien behind the baby on the right. Further indication that next season is about aliens.
But Ryan Murphy said no alien.
Yeah, but he said a lot of things. Like
he lies.
He said
He
that it
can't-
wasn't about freaks, and it ended up being about freaks.
Yeah, so thank you for your 5-star review on iTunes. We really appreciate it. And for the spot and claiming it on our iTunes page.
Yes.
Hey.
Some other fan shout outs on Twitter at Glenn Gracia. I think is
Yeah.
how you say it. At the Carl Myers, at John M110X90. Austin Dowdy.
Yeah.
Allie at Bowstring Baby.
Hey.
We love you guys. We love hearing from you. So if you guys want to hear us read your Twitter names out here on the AfterBuzz
So
world.
special.
So special. It is. Look at you, girl.
We read everything.
We read everything. So tweet us, let us know your thoughts, and we will give more shout outs next week.
Yay.
So thank you guys for being so vocal with us. Let's jump into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I don't have any predictions. Big shocker because we are off for we come back in 2 weeks because we do have a break for Thanksgiving. So there is no episode next week, people. And I feel like the promo that we got is more of a
What's to come on the rest
what's
of the
to
season?
come on the rest of the season
Agreed.
before the season break.
I agree. I don't have any predictions, mainly because I feel so overwhelmed from this episode.
I know.
And there was so much going on and so many characters that were touching each other that I can't even go forward. I just want to soak it up.
Yeah, I need to let it.
I need to let this one marinate a
That's
little
true.
bit.
I agree with that. Jill?
I think that I'm going to go along with what Sarah said, and that Stanley is
Oh, I
greedy,
do.
and I think he's going to be after more than just Mon Petit. Obviously, we know that he was paid a large sum of money for her, but the bigger the freak, the bigger the payout. And
who do you
Who
wanna
do you
see
think
next?
is the biggest freak?
I mean, honestly, if Paul's health is not 100%, who are they burying? I didn't look to see all the freaks because Mon Petit's body is nowhere to be found.
I think
so
that was a flashback burial
was it a flashback?
To who?
from the cop
Oh, yeah.
when they were pulling him out of the grave.
So they're trying to trick us
They're trying
now.
to trick us.
Of course they are.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Clever.
I don't know. If I were Stanley, I guess maybe Paul or Desiree before she gets her surgery.
She can't get it anymore.
I don't know. Really, you're right. Really,
He's the only one that could do it.
I just think that the way that things are going with Elsa's character, she is going to do whatever she can to get what she wants. And if it's giving Stanley a few of her people, then so be it. And I don't think
maybe
she's going to be
he's-
that shocked.
Maybe he's made the wrong deal.
Well, she
wrong
is.
Remember the mercy killing for the twins? I mean, he wants the twins. They're the big get for the museum.
Oh, and I
if he
think
says mercy killing, I mean,
That's true.
right. And I think that Dandy is going to kill Ben Dot, but
Oh, no,
we'll
really?
see. Yeah, he wants revenge.
Love it.
Or he's going to kill one of them.
He's gonna
gonna
kill
kill
David's
Dot.
like,
He's
he
gonna
can
kill
kill everyone.
he's
I
gonna
don't
kill
care.
Dot and try to save
He
Ben.
is gonna kill
Yeah.
everybody.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's so much. There's a lot to think about over this 2 weeks that we're going to be apart.
True.
So we'll be sure to answer everyone's questions, comments, concerns. everything.
We'll miss you guys.
Yeah,
we'll
we
miss
will.
you guys. So in the meantime, over the break, where can everybody find you, lovely ladies?
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm Oriana Leo, and you can find me on Twitter at Miss Oriana Leo or Instagram at Oriana Leo. You can find me on Facebook, too. Please be my friend. I'd like to chat with you.
Be my friend. She is my friend. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff. You can find me on Facebook at Jillian Leff Official. And I also host How to Get Away with Murder. Tomorrow night is the mid-season finale.
At 8:05.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, and we find out who killed Sam if you watch the show. So be sure to tune in. I'll be tweeting.
Spoiler alert. I am at Sarah on the Go, Sarah with an H on Twitter, and SarahBro627 on Instagram.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at You Can Call Me Skiff. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight and bearing with
all your
us.
opinions.
From everyone here at the AfterBuzz TV family, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.